5 minutes, 5 tips. Let's just get into it.
Right, so the first tip would be accommodation. Where to stay would be Dublin city centre. Now it might look more expensive than say the suburbs, but if you factor in the distance and the cost of travelling from outside of the inner city, it's going to start to add up. So your best bet is to try find a place in the city centre at a reasonable price. If you're interested, I can do the research for places that would be good to go visit, and I can leave a link below for Agoda. It will be an affiliate link, so I would probably make some money off of it, but not much, and it wouldn't affect the actual price, whatever way that works. So accommodation, location. That would be number one, I suppose. And look, if you're going to be out and about all day long, don't look at getting a fancy place, just a bed, you know. So if you're young, a hostel is perfectly fine. If you're a bit older and mature like me, you want your own space and room, then just go with a hotel, or you might get an Airbnb, but the prices might be a little bit more higher on those. Bonus tip: make sure to be prepared for the weather. Next is transport. Okay, so to get from Dublin Airport is a bit of a pain, so it's either a taxi or a bus. There's no real train station or anything. But watch out, there's some buses that are a lot more expensive to get you into the city centre, but you can just get the standard Dublin bus. So that comes on to the next one. Download the Dublin Bus app. It's free, and it will show you the fare cost, which is one of two. If you're paying cash, it's either $1.30 for a trip within 3 kilometres, or $3.30 for anything after that. It will show you routes, timetables, when the next one is about, and then also at most bus stops we now have like the timetables telling you when the next bus is available. So don't rule out public transport. We have the Green Line and the Red Line Lewis. Green Line is south to north basically, and Red Line is east to west, west to east, whichever way you're going. Then if you're going out of Dublin, you have Connolly, Euston, and you have Bus Oris, which is close to Connolly. So you use all them to get out of the city, and you use the Lewis and the buses to go around. Taxis will be expensive, even for short inner city things. You're looking at probably minimum 5, because there's a pickup fee. So even when you get into the taxi, just getting into the taxi, your man's going to press a button and it's going to be up like €2-3. So next one is, don't forget to include the free stuff. So there's so many things you can actually do in Dublin that are actually free. Walking around the parks, art museums, galleries, history museums, there's so many things. So always make sure to check online to see if there's any events going on. There's usually some local concerts or something like that going on that are usually free. What I would do now is I wouldn't spend one day doing a lot of free stuff. I'd kind of incorporate one free thing into a fun-filled day. That way, you know, it reduces the daily bill. So the next tip is about food. Ireland's actually culinary delight has increased massively. We produce some amazing food. One of my shorts was that tall boy toasties. But you could go to restaurants and you could spend a lot of money, or you can go to a chipper, which is cheap enough. Probably looking at about €7 for a good meal. Like, you get a bag of chips for $3.30, $3.50. That'll fill you up if you're not that much of a eater. But then you might want a burger or something like that. So it really depends on your appetite. Then, like, if you go into Centras, you can always get a chicken fillet roll. You can always stop at Central would be good, or the Spar, or Texaco, or like even a petrol station. You go in, Subway is fairly cheap enough. So like, if you're looking to keep your budget down on food, don't go to the high-end restaurants. Maybe go once or twice. Pubs as well have a bit of high price as well. So if you want to keep the price down, go to those places. Also truck vans. I know in Marley Park they have like a kind of a food stall thing on Saturdays, and I was surprised. I spent £6 or I spent like €5 on a burger. It's on one of my other videos, and it was delicious. So if you're looking for cheap food, you can get it here in Ireland. While Dublin is a safe country, well, it's a safe city to be in, I want to bring up safety. Just always be aware that pickpocketing does happen. Mobile phones are also stolen from the hands. Now, the majority of areas that you actually go to, safe, perfectly fine, but just keep your wits about you. And also at night time, people with a few drinks on them can then start to, whoops, sorry, I almost showed my face there, you know, bar fights and stuff. So just, even though it is safe, just don't let your guard down. You know, go out, have a good time, but just be aware that even though it is relatively safe, there still does be a bit of crime going on. And also on safety as well, just be careful of the roads as well. Cars are coming from different directions, so just look both ways twice, just to be safe. Let's slow it down for the bonus one. Right, money. Cash is always king, but we do accept Visa, MasterCard. Amex is very hard to get places now. Mask up, because people then think I'm a weirdo. We do accept Google Pay, Apple Pay. We're fairly modern when it comes to payments, so a lot of digital is acceptable. Another tip I like to do when I travel is I will go to the hotel, check in, and then when I'm checked into the hotel, I leave everything in the hotel room except for my wallet, take the wallet out, go to the nearest ATM, and then take the maximum I can take out and go straight back to the hotel. No stopping anywhere, just go do that, get it over and done with. And then just leave the money that you don't need in the hotel. The main reason for that is transaction fees. If you get charged €2 for every €100 you take out, and you take out €100 4 or 5 times a day, or 3 or 4 times a week, it's going to add up. It's going to add up. That was the 5 minutes, 5 tips. I think I went over time. Let me know what you think of this video. I'll do more if you like. 2 more kind of bonusy things. Please and thank you costs absolutely nothing. Gets you far in the world. And Dublin's actually relatively small. Like today I went out and I done a couple of walking video tours in parks. I'll put it up on the map now where I walked, and I done that all within 3 hours. So yeah, like if you're not afraid to walk, or like if you're fit enough to walk, you could do a lot of Dublin for walking around. Just plan where you're going to go and kind of go on that route and loop around like I did. Anyway, that's me over and done with, you know.